Welcome to Factorio Masterclass. My name is Nilaus, and we're back here on Fulgora with what I can say is, I think this is a really ideal setup for both recycling, storage, sorting, and also generating quality items, rare quality or higher, and it all sort of self-balancing, and it works flawlessly in for very many hours. So this is what we're going to be working our way towards. And the reason why this is so good, this is something you can either do immediately when you land on Fulgora if you're really eager to get some quality going, or is something that you can get to once you've been to Aquilo and you have a legendary quality. Then you can come back and set this one up here. Either way, it's a really cool setup, and what we're going to do today is going to design it and go through the decisions of why this works the way it is, and how to make it work in a better way, right? And so if that sounds interesting, well, you do follow along. The blueprints are, of course, also available to Patreon supporters. So if you are supporting on Patreon, thank you very much for that. And then you get these rather complex blueprints, all sort of neatly, so you can stamp them down into your own base if you like. Right, let's start from the beginning where we don't have anything here. Let's start by taking a look at the initial one. This is the one I decided that I built when we landed here on Fulgora the first time. And I'm very happy with this. This is brilliant. It comes in by train. All of this is coming in as normal quality, and it's using speed modules and working as normal quality modules here. The issue that anything when we work on Fulgora, what's very important to highlight is this scrap recycling. This is actually interesting because it doesn't do much. Actually, it doesn't really do anything. It's basically just saving on the amount of scrap coming in, but it has a tendency that it gets really high, then you just jam the belts. So it's not really valuable because all it does is save inbound, and this is a resource you will have infinite of. So it's not something that you just want to optimize very heavily. So do keep that in mind that I've actually gotten up to 10, so that we have, when we're watching this, we have plus 100% productivity, and then that's basically it. In this case, we're using speed modules, which means that the quality doesn't work. So when you're on Fulgora, you really need to get resources, and the only way to get resources on Fulgora is to recycle the scrap. So you recycle the scrap, and there have always been for me like two different decisions. It's either the speed module and efficiency modules that only work with normal ones, or it's one where I skip the speed modules and then only use quality here. The issue with that has always been that the quality modules are just, when you don't have speed modules, they're really slow. There's of course also the option of having quality modules and speed beacons, but that's killing the quality, and I don't like that option. It might be better, but I don't like it, so I don't do it. But what we also have for this one is we have these recyclers here that sort of take some of the items that we have, and this is all described in the previous episode on Fulgora, so maybe check that out if you want to sort of know the details. This is basically streamlining the production here so that we lower the amount of junk on the belt. But because you will have way too much solid fuel, way too much ice, so this one is just here just to delete all this, all of that in an easy way. Here as well, we want to make sure that it recycles as much scrap, and there's 20% of it is made into gears, and gears are just annoying to get rid of, so this is the best way to get rid of the gears. We turn them into plates, and the plates we turn into boxes, and we put the boxes back, which is immense compression here. And the same with this. The reason why we take 10 concrete and make it into 10 hazard concrete is because hazard concrete gets recycled into concrete. It doesn't get recycled into the components, but concrete gets recycled into stone bricks and something else. Iron ore, which is awful to get it recycled to. Same with steel. We get the steel in, and we then cycle it back into just steel boxes, and steel boxes turn into steel again. So it's again like this is about belt compression and also the speed of recycling here. Good. So that's what I want. The issue I have with this is that it doesn't scale very well when you get higher up, because you're going to have the belt full, and it will then be more difficult to actually get things out on the belt. This is limited to 60 at the maximum, and I want it to go higher than that. So that's a problem. We're going to look at this from the perspective of we have been to Aquilo, and we are. That's funny how we have these things. We have been to Aquilo, so we have unlocked the different qualities, the higher qualities we actually have. Whether you have rare quality or epic legendary quality unlocked or not depends. So in this case, we are going to use, you can use the normal ones here, or you can use rare ones. I think that will basically be saying you're going to be building it with normal quality, and then afterwards you might end up just building it at a higher quality, adding more. The base idea here is that I want some part of it done with quality modules, which will be like this. This is the quality modules, and I also want something else that's done basically like I did down here, like that, with these modules. And let's get that hooked up there. So with speed modules. And the combination will then be that I have this out here, where I'm saying all of the stuff that is normal quality, or let's go back out here and look at the mining, because the mining is also interesting here. I'm actually mining with quality modules. And whether you have the rare quality modules and whether you want to use them here or not, it's totally up to you, and also what you have available, but you will use quality modules here. And the essence of it is that you can still get, because the mining productivity is so easy to get, you can still get like a really decent amount outbound here. And that means we get out here. And then I'm going to take this belt, which is 2 times 240. I'll get this simply in and split it so that the quality items are going here and the non-quality items are going here. Let's set that up to begin with. Well, actually, because this belt is stacked, while it's down here, it is not stacked. These are, you can see there's 8 in each field. This is not stacked, and none of this is stacked. I want this belt to work on stacked, because after we've been to Clever, we really want things to be stacked. And this is now here. Each of these are fully stacked, so 32. So what will happen is that I need to get this out stacked on a belt, and it doesn't do that by itself. It can stack, but it won't necessarily stack. So I actually need to have a special little build, which is something you can do it in a number of different ways, but well, I like this way of doing it. So that's the one I'm going to use here. And I am going to output it into a box here. And then I am going to have a stack outserter here. And that's a good opportunity to get these a little bit further out. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the content of the box and then go back onto here. This will be setting the filter. And what will be the filter? It will be anything or each item, but only the items that are greater than 15. So whenever it's greater than 15, you will set this as a filter. So it monitors the content of the box, and when there's 14, then it's not going to output it, and it's just going to keep in the box. What we need to be aware of here is that there are, in this case, this is normal quality, so there are 18 potential components and 18 here, which will only go up to 16. It's not a problem. This box can easily contain it. And then this will go out on a belt. On a belt. So this one is basically the same as what we have down here. So that should be easy to do. Here we have the default setup, or the basic setup at least. We have no storage here, so we're basically just taking everything we have and just recycling it. Which is, I mean, just deleting everything, but we just want to see that it is working. We have basically replicated the same setup. Here we have the... this is the filter thing, so it comes out in higher quantities. We have it up here, and you may notice that this is a bigger blob, because in this case we actually have 18 different components, potentially, probably only 17, but 18, and we have 5 different qualities they could come in. And, well, yeah, they could come in, 5 could, and that's going to be a lot. So we are going to need some bigger boxes here. And it shouldn't stall like that, because, yeah, it's never going to be more than 1 stack of each. And most of the things won't be there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take this belt of mixed normal quality and rare quality and uncommon quality and whatever quality, and I'm simply going to be feeding it in here so that the normal ones go down here, and that goes into a fast processor. If we sort of look at one of these that's processing this part, and then we say we have how many do we have of these? They are, what is it, 32 of that. So if we had 32 of this, so you can see we have a pretty damn quick processing if it's only producing this, which is, it isn't, but you know, if it was, then that would be nice. This is 40, because we have a little bit more. And if we're just looking at the processing speed here, and we take this by 40, then we can also see that we have consume 80 non-quality here, or quality items, and then just go back. What you can see here, what we're getting in, is unfortunately and boringly, you could say, all of the normal things. There's also the part that these are quality modules, only normal quality modules, but eventually this should all be upgraded to higher quality, which is kind of the point of all this, is to generate some quality items so we can get this set up. So at this point, what we need to do is we need to make the storage part as well. The storage part, we can start by simply copying what we have down here, because this is pretty good. What's also really important about this one is that it's mirrored, so that the stuff that goes on the up here, on the upside, is the ice and solid fuel, and the one that goes here is ice and solid fuel. So the middle one is the gears, which will go in here. So it's kind of the same idea we want, and that means we're basically just going to copy this idea up here, and then we're going to be setting up a little bit different, because these also need to have well, storage for various qualities, which takes a while to set up, but hey, it has to be done. Let's set that up first. So now we've added the storage part on top, and all we need to do is sort of enable it to flow in here. There, so now this storage, and it's a little bit different, because you can see that I've left some room up here and some room down there, because that's actually something. If we look at the one down here, we can see that I'm deleting the ice and solid fuel here, but I don't have room for it. So I'm actually going to have to delete the ice and solid fuel if it goes beyond. Then I'm just basically going to say, like, you know what? I don't ever want you to go back here. If it's filling up, then just go down here and then go into a box such as this one. Actually, I don't even need to have it highlighted in any other way. There we go. And it just goes in and says, there you go. And then I need a there. Right, and that's also just going to be better productivity modules. There we go. There. So that's basically just going to be how I'm going to set this one up. And I'm going to set it up for the same out here. And basically say, you're never going to go back. And you are, if you pass through, then you just go in here and get deleted. Great. So that saves a lot of stuff here. Then we have the same thing up here. Then we can say, do we really want quality ice and quality solid fuel? No, I don't. So the ice part here is coming out. And that can just be completely deleted as well, because, well, I'm not going to need that. There. And also the solid fuel is, I placed it here. So let's also kill that. Ooh. There you go. And get rid of the solid fuel, because we don't want quality solid fuel here. And that just also gets there. And this can then be done in kind of the same way as this, but just placing it like so. And then getting it here. So that just gets over there. And then we can change this so that it's a little bit nicer. There. So these ones just delete all the ice cubes, because I don't want it. And here's another thing that I don't really want this part. Because I don't want to collect the higher quality holmium. That's just useless for me. So that's like some of the few exceptions that I have here. And then it goes back. But then we have to build the stuff that we also had before, like these deleters. And they are going to be a little bit complicated or annoying or problematic or whatever. And we're going to need that here. And then this will go into a box that creates... this creates these boxes here. This is the iron, so you're going to be picking up as fast as you possibly can, like this. And this will be only picking up gears. There. Now I can actually set this one. I want to filter this out so that it actually filters out the gears on a separate line. Because it's 20% of all the junk that comes in, so it's a lot. Then here's the interesting thing, I think, and that is, let's get some power, because otherwise it's frustrating to look at. There. I could actually have this output with quality items as well, like that. Because what happens then if I output with quality? Well, I can actually do it in an interesting way. I can do it the stuff that is rare, this quality or higher, which is not much. Here. Then I can also do the stuff that is only rare or uncommon quality. There. That goes here. And then I can kind of do the same, but only the normal quality. And that goes here. But I also think I should pick something up in this location as well. There. So if I get some iron coming back, which I could get some iron coming back, then that's also a thing. And we can see they're producing, and some of them they get stuck in here, and if there's anything, then they get thrown out immediately. But I actually want this one to be stacked as well, so it doesn't collapse this belt out here. This is good. It's so good actually that I want kind of another one of these, and I'm just gonna flip it and then basically insert it like this. And there. Because there's going to be so much of this annoying stuff. Right. Then I actually kind of want one more of these, which is weird. But it will then have to be a little bit different. Flip like this. No, that's the wrong flip. Like this, I think. But these have to now be only taking this one, because I'm also going to get too much of this here. There we go. And this will now be making exclusively this quality. And then we have to do the same thing. Well, this one will never happen. This one doesn't need to be here. You can go somewhere else, just a little bit further away. Maybe you can just build it here, and then another one a little bit further over. And then there. So this part is just making sure that we have, let's see, that can actually be done like this, and you can go here. There you go. So try to stack these up as much as possible, and anything that's higher quality, just go immediately out without stacking. Good. The only thing we're missing now is the stuff that we have done before, and I'm going to do, basically take this as well. And here I'm going to take, that's this one. And you are going to be the concrete. There. And they will just simply take stuff here. And yeah, and then get this potentially outbound. There. So basically what I'm doing here is saying all the steel that comes back, get it in here, and then try to get it to quality. We want as much quality as possible, and then set it up here, because quality is better than non-quality. Maybe you don't want quality concrete, maybe you do, doesn't matter. It's a choice if you want to do it this way, but I'm showing you that it can be done. And then basically we're going to be, is there anything else on this one? I think this is kind of the things we want to do. So what we have now is we have a full setup here that does the filtering, and each of these boxes are filtered so that they take only the normal quality, the rare quality, the epic quality, and then the legendary quality. And yes, there's a slight chance that something is going to pass by. Let's say there's something legendary, or there's something epic quality that drops, flows by here, then it gets swings, and then something else flows by. That's like in the that's something I just don't concern myself with. It's such a small quantity. Basically what we do now is we just leave it be for a while. All of this is, of course, you can see that now there's an issue over here. These are not processing as fast as they can, and you can see this one is kind of jamming. It's gonna happen one way or the other. Like one of these will be the limiting factor, and they'll also sort of self-correct, because now there'll be less flowing in here, which means there'll be less of the gears being converted up here. And when there's less gears converted, then there's less other things coming up here, and it'll start sort of self-correcting. This one is a little bit concerning how slow it is, and it's just one of those, well, is that good enough? This is now also now, I'm saying this is, I've now built it with normal quality, but I really should build all of this with rare quality. If you have it available, then rare quality for all of this. All of this. The good thing is that once we get started on this, it's pretty easy to make rare quality because we're getting quite a lot of rare quality items coming out here. So it'll be natural to let it run for a while, and also just to take the stuff that seems to be the most important bottlenecks and get rid of those. You can also see here, there's definitely something that's weird, right? Why is this one stuttering? Oh, right, this one. This is not fast enough to delete. And those kind of things are just important to make sure that you don't have like a silly bottleneck, because this is a really silly bottleneck to have. That really shouldn't be the case that we use. This is the bottleneck. That should never be the case. So we just put some speed modules into these two. Also, up here, I don't think it's going to be necessary, but down here, it's definitely necessary for the solid fuel because we get way too much of it. But it's also just good. This is the kind of thing we see once these are filling up, and then we just have a constant supply of this. Same with this. These are also now almost filling up, and then we'll start seeing the residuals flow in here. Now these belts are back online, flowing at the right rate, and we get more. So let's take this and upgrade it to rare quality, and then see how that flows, because we should be getting better consumption here. So we've now upgraded it and let it run for quite a while, and what we're seeing now is, well, exactly what we'd like to see. We have seen here that this is the normal quality coming in, and this is going to be the bottleneck. And it's only just slightly the bottleneck because you can see there's still like a big mass of random crap on this belt. So, but the good news is that they're both running, and that something has to be the bottleneck, obviously. And in this case, I don't want it sort of... Ideally, I don't want this one to jam and therefore stop the belt. I don't want this one... I do want this one to jam because it cannot consume any more of this. What you can then do is, if you see that it's slightly over-tuning up here, then you can start sort of not putting quality modules into these if you want to. There is one thing that is a surprising observation here. If I put speed modules, high-quality speed modules in here, then it's primarily the first here, because they'll be so fast that they will very much jam. And then nothing really will be working down here because they'll all be consumed here, and then they'll be put in the boxes, and then they're going to be stuck not being output because they only want put on one side. So actually, it's advantageous to not put quality speed modules in here, because you want to make sure that the belt fills up all the way to the end, and they both output here, both sides, so that we have basically as close to two full belts as possible. Because you can see here, this one will be self-balancing. It's a little annoying that it is filling up here. There's 1K in storage of each, and that also just means that this one will stop working. It's not a big deal because this one will just stop working, and then it'll go down here, and then this one, which is not working all the time, will then pick up and put out here. So it's not bottlenecking everything. It just means that there's some items that are getting stuck. If this one gets stuck, then it'll just flow down here, and then it'll be put on the outside belt. So that is kind of how it is. It's self-balancing in that regard. And then we basically have it. We have now a very steady supply of lots of high quality items or high quality intermediates, and we will in the next episode try to figure out how to use those in a meaningful way to make Fulgora also into a place where we can get quality items. There are some things that are really advantageous to make here on Fulgora. There are some things that don't really make sense. But the things that make sense, well, let's just get on with it and try to build those here. I think it's important to look at, like, this is a neat little setup that takes 2 city blocks, and it consumes more than 1 belt, but less than 2 belts, fully compressed belts. And that means that if you want this to be twice as big, well, you guessed it, you just stamp it down up here, and then it'll also be working there. So it is really as simple as that. Just take this and put it in here. Boom. And then get some more belts in and filter them in here. And then you have it. So that's going to be it for this episode. That gives you an idea about how to optimize. There is one thing I want to say, because this is the thing that almost everyone has been commenting on in my Twitch channel, is that why don't you just? And the problem with Fulgora is the deletion. It's nothing else. Like, it is getting rid of the crap fast enough. So it'll be like, oh, why don't you just scale up something? Why don't you just, because I can't. It's all about how fast can you get rid of stuff. These tricks here are all about getting rid of stuff faster, and you can't get rid of, there are a lot of things you can't get rid of in a faster way. So before you suggest some improvements, think about like what are the things that you want to do. What are the things that how would you get rid of all the other stuff? Because that is really fundamentally the issue with this, is all of this junk that you have to get rid of. So if you want more advanced circuits, well, you have 97% of the output that you need to get rid of, and that's difficult. So especially because it breaks down, like these break down to multiple things. So this is how I could fit it in, and focusing on the most important things. You could also do like heat pipes if you really want to, but I don't really like that as much as the options I have here. So with that, thank you very much for watching. The blueprints are available to Patreon supporters as usual, as well as the save games. And I am continuing the design process on Twitch on Sundays, so do come by on twitch.tv/Nilaus to watch and participate in the design process. Thank you for watching. Until next time, take care and stay effective.